Well, hi there, this is part 2 of me speaking about things that I've purchased at the Reject Shop, and it comes with a bit of a preamble first here because the Reject Shop is in a lot of financial trouble. I'll just flash up their share price at the moment. You can see what's going on. Wow, it has been assassinated. Luckily, I don't have shares in the Reject Shop. I'm not associated with them financially anyway. They don't pay me to talk about them. I just like them as a shop. Always found really good value at the Reject Shop, especially with toys. It was also a place where you could pick up great novelty things like this. My son would wear this cap, and it's a, I don't know, it's a fish or a bass or something. $5 for this, and so many people say, hey, where'd you get the cap? I'd say, hey, the Reject Shop. Where else would you get a cap like that? Pez was another thing where the price, if you went to the wrong shop in Sydney, you could be $8 at worst. Okay, they make out, oh, this is a rare Pez. No, there's nothing rare about that. You're just overcharging. Reject Shop would sell this for $2, maybe $1.50 if you're lucky. Okay, toys that were sort of on the outer in a sense that they were being replaced or were sort of past their popularity date. A toy like this, Thomas the Tank, $5. Normally in the retail in Australia, it's a $10 toy. But of course, that style of Thomas has been superseded by a newer version. Okay, Hot Wheels cars have always been a good price in the Reject Shop. They were the people who were selling it for $2 in Australia well before anyone else. And what was peculiar was the Reject Shop for a little time there raised their price to $2.25, and then Kmart Australia came along and said, we're going to slam you out. We're going to sell them for $1. Okay, so seeing Hot Wheels in Australia selling for $1 was quite curious. So the Reject Shop reduced their price to $2, and I noticed then Kmart brought their price back to $2. So $2 for a toy like that. I'm noticing a lot of toy pricing is actually starting to come down. Although I still see a basic Hot Wheels car in many stores for $3, and the most expensive price that I've seen when I made this video was $7.20. Welcome to Australia. That's roughly $5.40 in US dollars, and remember, there's no law against making a profit. I tell you what, I prefer my Hot Wheels at $1 and not $7.20. Okay, the nice metal on metal cars in Reject Shop are always a good price there. $4, they might drop to $3, and then if they weren't selling, they just drop them to $2. Okay, if you went to a place like Toys R Us in Australia, $8. Other specialty shops might pull it for $10 without naming one. It's quite crazy, the prices that go on. I'm just reaching down here to a really, really nice Star Wars toy here. This is a great example of the Reject Shop, I think, this toy here. Okay, let me just show you the price it was selling at in normal retailers in Australia. $59. Okay, there's the video proof. The Reject Shop was selling this exact same toy for $25. What would you prefer to pay? $59 or $25? Stupidly, I actually purchased this one, $59. There it is in the barcode. And when I saw the Reject Shop selling this, I bought one for my son for $25, and I just felt how foolish was I to pay so much for a toy like that. Mind you, it's a pretty awesome toy. Anything Micro Machines is. Another Star Wars toy I purchased fairly recently was this Titanium Black Series. There's 4 vehicles in there. I noticed in other stores to be $45, nearly $50 for a set like this. The Reject Shop, $25, and often I will put the price there. It is there in the barcode, $25. Okay, that's a great price. But curiously, I went online to see, well, how much is that toy online? And I noticed Amazon in America have it for $20. Mind you, the clause there, it does not ship to Australia. With the exchange rate and everything else, I think you'll find $25 is the best price. Now, so often I've seen the Reject Shop present the best prices for a toy that you can't match online or anywhere else. And I think the Lightning McQueen from one of the first videos I did about them was the real eye-opener. But there's more things like that. It will be sad if the Reject Shop can't get past this financial crisis, but I think when Amazon Australia kicks off, it's going to cause carnage in the retail industry in Australia, because Amazon will grind the price right down to levels that we've never seen in Australia, and that's how they're going to attract their customers. I'm going to have a go at Amazon. I'm not a big person for buying things online because of my age mainly. What I noticed when I go to the shopping malls and everything is, my saying is, you don't see people in their 20s and early 30s buying at these places. Those people have far more confidence purchasing online. I like to see something for real. I like to touch it and feel it and read all about it before I buy it. There's something about seeing something in shop that gives me confidence, okay? And confidence is a very important word when you're shopping. My confidence online, I have purchased things on eBay, hasn't been that good. I've been hit and miss, is the best way I could say it. Anyway, I did this preamble because of the Reject Shop's financial strife before we get into the part 2. And it'll be the last time I think I'll speak about this brand on my channel. Look, why I like them is a lot is because they said, thanks Leo for speaking about our brand when I did my first video. And strangely, that video became very popular. It's well over 1 million views. Mind you, I doubt whether I'll ever pull that off with these styles of videos again and the way YouTube has been re-rigged or de-rigged. Okay, let's get into the body of the video. Well, hi, this is the second part of me looking at toys from the Reject Shop. They are 1, 2, 3 rubber chickens. The Reject Shop logo looks like that, and it always gets you annoyed if I do this. Let me get rid of these chickens, they're nothing but annoying. Woo! Okay, on the table here is, I think, possibly one of the best pickups I've ever grabbed from the Reject Shop. A Transformers toy for $20. Is that going to outclass the previous best pickup, which was the Disney Cars diecast toy for $4, which became the cheapest one in the world from what we could work out from my other video? Yes, Jetfire Leader Class. This toy looks amazing. That is a completely amazing price. It was a catalogue special, so you had the racing quick to get it. There's my receipt. I've got to show a receipt to you. Say, oh, but Leo, how are you doing? That's for people. I don't get paid by the Reject Shop. I just love for the fact they have some of the best toy pricing in Australia. I'm very curious to open up this one and take a look what's going on. There were these other Transformers toys to start at the same time. I'm pretty sure I've got that guy inside already. That's the one which just flick changes. Some people like that stuff and not flip and change. These were $15 each. This is Optimus Prime. That's the one where you stamp it, I think, to get a change. The stamping one. I think my son's got that one. And this was one here, Autobot Drift. This is another one. This is another flick one like Bumblebee is. Pretty cool toys. $15 is a very good price for these toys. When these were in the store, they were selling pretty fast. I was pretty lucky to get Optimus because what I noticed of Optimus Prime is he's often the first one to be sold, and Bumblebee's also another popular one. I'm pretty sure my son's got these guys inside, and they're the sort of Transformers toys that will not frustrate you. They're really simple to go between robot to vehicle. Now with this Autobot here, which is Jetfire, I'm really curious to know whether you know how much this toy is or how much you've seen it for. I'm wondering whether you can beat $20. I've got a funny feeling you won't be able to, not even if you're over there in the United States of America, which generally has some of the cheapest toys in the world. I'm having trouble getting this out. Come on, Jetfire, get out of there! Okay, it's out of box, although it is hard to do it single-handedly. This is a spectacular Transformers toy. I think I'm actually going to keep this for my son. He's going to really love this. The bulk of these toys sort of gets explained at the end of the video where they go, but I think this one's a keeper. Especially at the good prices. I'm going to have good memories about this one, I'll tell you. This is the constructions to go from robot to vehicle. And it's actually quite a complex one. So my son's going to have to learn this one. It looks great as a vehicle, doesn't it? Great jet fighter. It's 20 steps. I'm calling that the complex ones. But there's also to deal with the weapons and how to build the weapons up. Looks awesome. Coming for some daddy snips. It's one of these ones that got nice little metallic parts on it and everything. Totally spectacular. But a lot of the Transformers toys are like that. My son is right at the age where he loves these styles of toys. Don't forget that price there. I think this is one of the best value toys I've ever picked up. This is completely remarkable. It's got a great feel to it. I'm not going to embarrass myself and try and transform this. I just want you to adore this thing in its robot mode. It is totally spectacular. My boy will scream when he sees this. Let me just turn around. I think it's a bit complex for him to do at the moment. He doesn't like the ones which go up to the 20 step. There's the cockpit of the plane. It is just completely awesome. It is beautiful and it's the right price. If only they were this price all the time. But I don't think Mr. Hasbro would ever make any money. He's giving away toys like that. But this toy is a brilliant example of how the Reject Shop can pull off some amazing toy prices. And the best way these toys look is when you pose them like this. They look like they're about to have a fight. And what's really nice about this one, it's got a weapon here which can fire. Yes, I wonder who else picked up on this amazing special at the Reject Shop. I just looked at the receipt. It said the 2nd of the 12th, 2015. And that date is in the lead up to Christmas. What a spectacular toy that would have been for $20. So the best way to deal with the Reject Shop is to understand what they've got on special. I do that very simply by looking at their catalogues. I like to look at the real paper ones. You can get a feed of these via their online site. Maybe there'll be a link in my video down below of that. Maybe there won't be, I'll forget. But it will lead us into the next thing we're going to take a look at. And it was when they were doing these crazy assorted $1 toys. Well, under the chicken here is one bag I'm going to show you. And actually this is one bag which is a keeper for me, and you'll understand why in a second. And the other ones that I grabbed were these ones here. All these guys here are $1 a bag. Well, let me tip out what's inside this bag here. You're either going to laugh or you're going to cry. I never thought I'd see this in Australia. It is the Kiss Hello Kitty danglers. And I've had a couple of these dangling around the house, and my children love them. My wife thought they were curious, but I think it's a classic example of how you can marry together two very, very opposite things. Did anyone else get into these? I dare say this is a Gene Simmons idea. It's marketing gone mad, but I don't care. I like it. I don't think I need scissors to open this one. I think I can just rip it here. Okay, I just grabbed a lot, all the Kiss ones. I was a bit rude, wasn't I, doing that? But, oh, you know what Kiss fans can be like. Oh, who have we got here? Okay, I think it is, well, I'm going to say it's Peter Criss. I know you'll say something else. Okay, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Let me get it out of its bag. You can't see it properly like that, can you? I don't care if it's a Hello Kitty, I'm just seeing it as a Kiss thing. Yes, I like that. I'm always going to say the classic names. I'm not going to say the people who came a bit later on. I like it. Let's get into another one. I'll open up one more. I don't want to get too carried away with looking at Kiss stuff in this video. And I'm sort of hoping I'm going to get an Ace Frehley. And don't say Tommy Taya, please. Ah, it's Paul Stanley. One of the all-time greatest frontmen in rock and roll. I think maybe Freddie Mercury is up there better than Paul. I have to say that, sorry. Paul Stanley, Hello Kitty. And who said that was ever going to fail? And to get your head around what else is in these Hello Kitty danglers, that is the series there. I've actually got some Ace Frehley ones around my computer inside. In fact, the only one I haven't seen yet is Gene Simmons. But, I know, it just works, doesn't it? Well, works for me. Well, they were $1 a pop. I think that was pretty good value because stuff in Australia tends to be, well, always over $1. And then there are these minifigures here. Let's take a look at one of these. All these CB building characters, they do some other franchises as well. This looks like sort of trying to key into what LEGO do with their minifigure series. Well, let's take a look before we pass any judgment here. I've got a sneaky feeling that I'm not going to be as impressed as, let's say, LEGO minifigure, but hey, I might be totally wrong. And I've been wrong many times. I've got to build this critter up. I wonder what I've got. Before I show you what I've got, this is what the series contained. Maybe the military guys were cool. Some guns there. Is that Rambo? It's weird, isn't it? It looks like two ninja guys. I call it Game of Thrones guys there, and some weird zombie. Well, this is the figure I've got. It's a knight. I haven't got a LEGO knight guy to show against, although if I went and dug around the billions of LEGO minifigures that I got upstairs, I may be able to find one. There's things about this that I like, but there's also quite a few things about this that I don't like. The main thing I don't like is we don't have an independent head. If I pull his helmet off, well, there's no head. It's just a helmet, isn't it? It's like a bucket head. It's got a weapon. I think the shield's probably the nicest thing about this thing. Mind you, it's only $1. A LEGO minifigure would be $5 in Australia, so in that sense it's a very cheap minifigure. Although it's not the cheapest. Maybe one day on YouTube I'll talk about the cheapest minifigures, or figures should I say. I shouldn't say minifigure or else LEGO will get angry. He's just dropped his sword. Do I like this? Sort of. Do I feel like I want to open any more? Not really, not unless I was getting a zombie. Maybe you can have your 5 cents on these guys. I'm sorry if that was a bit harsh. This stuff can go to the charity shop. They can do much better things with it than I can ever do. Whooshka. Well, the piles of toys is getting smaller, especially compared to the first video I did. This is part 2. What will we look at next? I think these My Little Pony pop toys will be the next thing we're going to take a look at. And I might even pop one of these open. Sorry for the pun. Well, who's going to own up into getting into these toys? I remember seeing these in the stores just sit on the pegs for months and months and months and months. I actually purchased a few. And if you recall, I actually gave some of these away and I never reviewed them, but now we might take a look. Most importantly, how much did I pay for these at the reject shop? $9. I got a sneaky suspicion these are up near the $15 mark at their full price. Let me open Applejack up and let's play. Okay, I've done some cutting at the back here. It's actually a bit of a nasty one to get into. This toy reminds me of toys you used to get in breakfast cereals, although it's a larger version of it. I'm old enough to remember when there were great toys in like cornflakes and stuff, and this is very reminiscent of it in the way it's basically like a kit, isn't it? You pull these pieces out. Don't ask me why I chose Applejack. I just did. Okay, but especially say, well, why didn't you choose Pinkie Pie, Leo? Well, I wasn't feeling very Pinkie Pie at the moment. Let me get these parts out. Okay, well, you can make a Borg ship if you find enough of those parts. That's enough of the Star Trek talk. Okay, I think it looks like you just pop this together. Maybe that's why they're called... Well, it did make a popping sound. I don't know why. They're meant to, aren't they? What's that? It goes in like that, does it? Or was that... I don't know. Oh, I don't know how to play with ponies. And there's the hat. I think you leave that rubber band on to keep the hat on. Is that right? Am I playing correctly, boys and girls? Then I think you stick a tail somewhere. Is that a tail? Or is that a cutie mark? I don't know. I'm having trouble. Well, I've had a serious reconsider about how this goes back together, and I hopefully got it right now. It's got the hat on there. It doesn't look too bad. I'm glad I only paid, what was it, the reject shop price and not the other price. Mind you, I did buy some of these toys at the full price. I'm a bit confused about this butt area here. Maybe this apple bit goes on there. I don't know where that hairpiece goes. Or is that an alternative to this hairpiece up here? I suppose it's one of those toys, you can open up the other ones, you can mix and match them. And I don't know what this thing here does. What's this? Maybe I should read the back of the box or something. That doesn't seem to make too much sense. Maybe I could stick that on like that. I don't know. Is it doing it for you, pony fans? Have I made it right? I hope I have. I'd hate to do Applejack an injustice here. Well, maybe it's the best pony toy in the world. Maybe it's one of the worst. But anyway, that was the My Little Pony Pops. And I'm sure there'll be someone via my local charity shop who's going to really enjoy those toys. Well, the next toy we're going to look at is more boy related. It's these toys here. These are my son's toys, but I'll show you these. And I've got a whole bunch more that I can hand over to the charity shop, who I know will do marvellous things with. Well, there are those toys when they're in box. NASCAR Bashems. I've only ever seen them in the reject shop in Australia. They were the trailers. They had a whole bunch of different cars there. They all crashed in different ways. My son loved these toys. He loved to crash them. He loved to build them back together again. That's all the fun of them. It's only a small toy, but boy, oh boy, does it pack some punch. Okay, let's see if we can crash this car. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. And with the trucks, it was all about hitting the right spot. I think the sweet spot is where the fuel tank is. If I bring this car in, I'm going to try and ram that fuel tank. Here we go. That is what happens when you hit the right spot. Really, really nice toys. And we found they were just so much fun. We only ever saw them at the reject shop. If you smash the cars up, they will break into all their parts. Quite fascinating toys in the way they break apart like that. I think my favourite one is the one that breaks into two. There's a ton of little bits of toy detailing that I know children just love to see. They love to see things smashed up. While we're thinking NASCAR, there was also some Connect sets. So that's like a Pit Crew one there. Another Pit Crew one there. They also had some cars. I'm not really into NASCAR. I know my American friends will be. There's also that car there. Okay, and this one here. The M&M's car. That's the build board car, which is in the M&M's car. It looks like a pretty simple build, but it ends up being finished off with these large body parts that basically cover the internals there. I don't know, it's not really me. Maybe I'm being a bit cruel. There's the larger parts there, but I don't know. I think these minifigures, they just weren't doing it for me. I'll be quite honest here. I'd much prefer to have that than that Connects car. That's just me. Well, just thinking of Connects, there's more Connects toys here. Let me find them. Okay, over here. Monster Jam toys. Okay, and there's one of these that I did open up, so I've got an example for you. Yes. This smaller set here, it would have been like an $8 item at the reject shop. I did buy one and I watched my son play with it. They're the ramps, okay? That is the car, and it came with a gravedigger top on it, like you see there, okay? And it had all these other bits and bobs. I hope I've got the whole set here. Please forgive me if I'm missing parts. Well, there's the gravedigger there. It is quite a curious design. It's got that suspension going on. There's a flag sticking out the back there. And I watched my son play with it, but he didn't actually play with this too long because he actually liked these larger Hot Wheels Monster Jam toys. This is a little bit sort of nafty and small, but I hope I'm not disappointing people there. Let me just try and jump it here. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We'll just leave it at that, eh? Look, it's one of those things. I suppose it's just a little cheap toy. It's smaller in scale. The problem with small scale toys is so often they don't impress versus larger scale toys. I know the Connect fans are going to probably get in a rage at the moment. They're saying, "Oh, Leo, you're not playing for it properly." Well, let me try and give you a better jump here. Okay, here we go. Try and do a better jump for you. Okay, just for the Connect fans. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I made it. I mean, thank goodness for that. Yeah, it's. I'm glad I kept it as an example because I knew one day it was going to come in handy when I talk about this toy. Maybe you'll have your 5 cents to say about it. Maybe the best part about it was these ramps here. I remember seeing my son put all sorts of things over the ramps there, but he didn't really play with that car too much. Anyway, these sets here will have a nice new home. Oh, one of my all-time favourite toys there, but let me reach over the back here. All these toys here came from the reject shop and they didn't cost very much, but I never saw these toys really anywhere else, which was sort of bizarre. Pookaloos, do you know these toys? They look very Disney-ish, don't they? It was Buzz Lightyear. There was Winnie the Pooh. Since when was Winnie the Pooh Disney? Am I missing something? Minnie Mouse, well, we know that she's Disney. Mickey Mouse. These are roly-poly ones, and then there were ones that were spinners. Mickey Mouse, and also there's Minnie Mouse laying down on the job. She spins as well. Too cute for their own good. Give me a break. Who thought of that? Let's take a look at this spinning Mickey Mouse. I'm semi-curious. Don't ask me why. After sapping too many brain cells to try and work out how this works, there's actually an arm thing that you pull here to get a whipping action. Let's see if we can get this toy to work without it failing on me. Go, Mickey! Well, something flung off there at high speed. I don't know what it was. Is it missing anything? Something whizzed by me. Oh, it was the bottom bit. Let's see if I can do it again. Go, Mickey, go! Now maybe I can see it was in the reject shop. Give me a break. It's got to be more fun than that. Come on, I think Disney Collector showed these toys and they looked amazing. Nah, dead as a dodo. And look at this, Mickey's just eating his own ripcord there, a bit like a Victor lawnmower. How am I going to fix that one? I know how I'll fix it. I'll just put it back in the box and let somebody else repair it. Oh, we can't do that, boys and girls. That'd be nasty to do. Let's try it with the base on. Maybe I don't know how to operate this toy like dumb me. Let's try it now. Come on, Mickey! Come on, Mickey! Come on, Mickey! Do something for me! Well, Mickey and your fine Disney friends, you're retired and never to be seen again on my channel. Let's take a look at the Mr. and Little Miss men, and what I will do, I'll open up one of these guys here. Let's take a look at what we've got here. I think these are wind-up walkies. Ooh, which one will I choose? Which one will I choose? What about this one? Hey, we'll open up that one. There's the other ones here. All a bit too gay, if you ask me, and I'm saying gay in the old-fashioned way gay was said. Okay, and strangely, I haven't written the price. It would have only been a couple of bucks. It's the sort of stuff that's in the reject shop that is very, very inexpensive, and foolish people like me get, think, oh, wouldn't that be fun to play with? Well, hey, it could be. Just take a look at this. Those Disney things didn't impress me very much. Okay, let's see how this one walks. You've got to wind this guy up. Remember, I remember saying, oh, don't overwind it or you'll wreck it. Okay, here we go. Is it doing it for you? What's your thoughts on that one? Please let me know. Okay, I'll rebox that one and make it look just like new. Okay, I'll rebox this one and be a top seller on eBay. Yahoo! And there was one other one here. And this is the sort of stuff that my son and daughter used to love getting into these. They see anything like this and they say, Dad! Dad! Well, we'll take a look at these Sickies things. This is Series 1. Did I ever get to Series 2? Maybe my audience will know, but it's the sort of stuff that was quite often in the reject shop. And there are 3 of them in here. Okay, let me just carefully get this out. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff coming out of here. I just know my children love things like this. They're sort of little, they were like squinkies in a way. And here comes one of them here. They're like little alien chaps there, if I get the focus going there, and they lived in their balls. Okay, they had their own little balls, like very squinkish, weren't they? And they suction cupped onto things. Okay, that's one guy. This is the other guy which went for a wander out the back there. And, yeah. I mean, I think the squinkies... Did the squinkies kick off all this sort of little tiny things? I remember my daughter was riding the squinkies and then the trashies came along. And our saying in our house was the trashies basically trashed the squinkies. If I can get this third guy open. There is the third guy. Okay, yeah. My son and my daughter went through a phase of just loving little squink toys like this. And if I get the third one there, we can have 3 of them on one ball. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the next toy we're going to take a look at, we'll look at a train toy, and it was one that my son got excited about, although I didn't get that excited about. It was a mini Loopsy train, and it came with the train. There's also a whole stack of rolling stock, as I call it, or wagons as well. I'm just reaching over and I'm dumping them in screen now. On my YouTube channel, I look at a lot of train things, and I remember looking at this in the reject shop. It was $10, so this is a powered toy, this one. But what I didn't like about it was it had quite a large gauge in there. I will open up this here, and maybe one of the rolling stock, and we'll just have a bit of a tinker and see how it plays. I think there's a real trend there for a while that every toy franchise wanted to have their own train. I mean, everyone was going to say, oh, we're going to have our own train, but the really important part is, do these trains marry into the most prolific track system? That's the question. It takes 2 AAA batteries. It's got quite a interesting idea of having a piece of string there so they don't lose the battery compartment cover. As if I can get this thing back in. Oh, okay. And there's the all-important screw shot. Well, there is a mini Loopsy train. It came with a little pig there. Maybe you can tell me what that is. It came with a rather strange level crossing thing, which is all bendy. Let me connect up this bit here. What I don't like about it is the coupling system, and it's got a button here. We'll start to see the epic speed of this thing. Okay. That is just going to annoy me. Maybe it's for very young children would love that. It's lost the thing already at the back. Okay, let's see what track system it marries into. Okay, on the table there I've got 2 of the most popular younger children's track systems. This is the classic wooden railway. That's Thomas and Friends. This is Thomas and Friends Take and Play. There'll be a lot of children who have that. Now let's see how this Loopsy blah blah train goes on classic wooden track. Oops, there's a problem. This train is not going to straddle that. Okay, it's a sort of toy that I'd never really say to you go out and get. It's only going to frustrate you and annoy you unless you have it running on the ground of our track. Here it is on Take and Play. Okay, epic fail. Yes, when buying toy trains, they're the ones that you purchase and the ones that you just steer clear of. Look, it may be fun for very young children to have running around the ground, but it's only going to frustrate you when you don't key into some very, very major track systems. Maybe you'll say, Leo, you're too harsh. Look, for a $10 motorised toy train, it's fine. It's just so frustrating. It doesn't key into any major track. The rolling stock, I should say, were $4, so I'm not going to bust open anymore. It's just best going off to the charity shop so a young child can enjoy this and have the joy of unboxing it instead of me ripping it open and destroying the child's joy. And I will take the batteries out of this and rebox it as best I can. Okay, there we go. I think you'd never know it had been out of box. Bit naughty to do, but hey, it's going to make someone very happy. Well, the reject shop is sometimes where toys come to die when they sort of finish their life cycle. And there was a time there, and this will bring back some good memories, when the trash pack guys were going through the reject shop up near Series 6. That was up near the end, wasn't it? I think there was Series 7 after that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I've got a feeling from memory, I think these were selling for... Oh, there we are. Thank goodness there's something there. Okay, $3 a packet. I bought 3 of them. So it's $9 all up. Trash pack Series 6, rotten eggs. $3 for that, and that was a 12 pack. That's a pretty good buy. Pretty good buy indeed. And that is about a third of the full retail price. So sometimes toys will land in the reject shop and sometimes they won't. You don't, put it this way, you don't just wait for them to happen in the reject shop. It's quite often a complete unknown what lands there. Well, it was nice looking at those trash pack toys. The ranks are thinning up the back here. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get through all of these toys. Almost a cousin to the trash pack toys, came from the same toy company, were the microchargers. Now, these were selling for $3 a car. And this is the end of the line one. This is the Pro Racing System. This was the really good one, which had that spectacular toy where the cars would go around and you had to recharge them as they go around the track. Great toy. For picking them up for $3 was a big surprise. These, I think the cars were $6 at normal price, so they were like half the price in the reject shop. And I was a little bit surprised to actually see them turn up at the reject shop. But then again, I've been surprised about many toys that I've seen in the reject shop. Never say to yourself, well, I'm not going to see that toy in the reject shop. They sometimes have some amazing toys turn up. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic purchase for $3 a car. And thinking of fantastic toys, one of the most fantastic of recent times. Yes, for a while there, they had bags of Thomas Minis. Now, this was from the first series, and because I know my Minis codes, guess who I picked up? Do you want to have a guess? Bag 61. Do you remember what bag 61 is? It's a very important one. I only found 2 bag 61s. We need to open them up to be reminded. Incredibly popular toy. It really has put revival winds into the Thomas & Friends franchise, and bag 61 is, of course, the absolutely stunning gold Thomas the Tank, and it was actually selling for its normal price in Australia, which is $3. They weren't really on special, but because I know my toy codes, I can go and get the real nice ones. The Reject Shop is a place where you find lots of surprise toys. There's lots of Kinder Eggs and Kinder Candies there. This was a more unusual one, where they were like building bricks that you sort of put stickers on and built up. I'm not really a fan of this sort of thing because of the sugar factor in these. I really only like surprise toys, which only have toys in them. And Moose Toys did a couple of those. Let me see if I can open one up to show you what's inside. I've just been reminded how despicable these are to open. Oh, okay, got there finally. I remember looking at these and thinking I wasn't very impressed, and it's a classic example that some of these surprise toys, well, there's the good ones and there's, well, the others. Well, there's some sweets or candy or whatever you want to call that there. You can throw that straight in the bin because it's going to rot your teeth. There is that building block there, and I suppose in a strange way, this is the toy in the whole thing. You can put the stickers on the building block. There is this two-dimensional thing here, which is something that comes out of there. Maybe better explained if you look at this here. You collect them all. I don't think so. It's not me. There you sort of take one bit out and you join it onto another one. Does it explain it, or doesn't it? Yeah. Well, no. No, thank you, no. Maybe I'm seeing it totally wrong. Maybe you can have your 5 cents to say on something like that. Okay, the next one we're going to take a look at, and it's one that I sort of got excited about. It's these guys here, these Mr. Potato Head Transformers. I like this, I think. I like this a lot. I've got quite a few Mr. Potato Heads. Oh, a long time ago I did a video which incorporated a lot of Mr. Potato Head toys. It was well before I was on YouTube. It was a video called Potato Head. But I sort of saw this and I sort of got excited. I think my son will also like these toys, and he's falling apart as he does because he's a potato. Yeah, I don't know, something about this that looks very cool. There's also Bumblebee here. I've actually got them all. I've got Grimlock, there's Bumblebee. They were $4. I don't know, I reckon $4 is a pretty good price. Because normally there's like a Transformers tax to stuff when you buy Transformers toys. Come on, Bumblebee, at your hop. Come on. And here comes Grimlock. I know Mr. Potato Head has mashed himself into all sorts of toy franchises, hasn't he? And he's in Toy Story. I mean, he's a classic toy. You can't let the classics die. I don't know, they're doing it for me. They're great eye candy. They'd be great things to just have sitting on the mantelpiece, wouldn't they? We've got a lot of toys which decorate our house, and they tend to be the joy of the place. And because they're mix and match sort of toys, you can take that off there and make it like a Bumblebee Prime. Or you can do that. Or you can do whatever you want. Okay, next one we're going to talk about is this toy here. I did discuss this one here in part 1 where I was giving comparisons of toy prices in Australia. The little carts here were $5 a go. You get a cart, you get a character, plus you get a launcher which is hidden behind in here. I think for $5, I think they were excellent value, and there was a whole bunch of different characters you could get. They seem to have lots of stock of these. It was sort of curious, but I never saw, once again, I never saw this toy in other stores. I've only ever saw it pop up in the reject shop. It's sort of strange, isn't it? I mean, Angry Birds vanished for a while, and all of a sudden, because of the movie, it's sort of coming back. And there was also this bigger set here, if I can get it up. Angry Birds Go. It's the Jenga Pirate Pig attack game. Okay, there. So, once again, first time I've seen that, it came with a whole bunch of pigs there, and a couple of carts. Is that red down there? Does it come with red? How much was it? Where's the game? $15. Okay. Yeah, $15. I'm pretty sure that's great value for a toy like that. Okay, not very often I saw Creo in the reject shop. These seem to be very strange sets. And I am going to keep these because I'd like to take a closer look at these ones. They were $8. They're also a bit curious because I'd never ever seen these anywhere else. Once again, the reject shop seemed to be the only place I saw them. If I can get this out of its box, we might have a bit of a ponder of what's going on here. If I can get it out, that is. Oh, so hard single-handedly, isn't it? It's a weird one. It needs a big investigation. It's got Sonic Motion Brick Circus Sounds, Motion Bricks, and Crayon Figure Moves. There's also a bit of an app thing going on there as well. Remember, this is only $8. I'd never seen it anywhere else, and I don't recall really popping over this thing on YouTube. I haven't really seen people talk about this. As for how it works or anything, I mean, I'm going to have to come along and build it up. I don't have the time in this video to investigate this. But I think it's one of the strangest things that I've really come across in the reject shop. It was quite a surprise to see it. There were quite a few there, but they actually sold. So maybe you've seen this, maybe you know about it. I will investigate this in the future. Yeah, I mean, one was a Carnival Canyon launch, and right up the end of the scale, there's another one called the Cemetery Heist. Yeah, I think the important part to remember is, this is $8. What would $8 in Australia buy you on Lego? It's not very much. It's one of the smaller sets. $10. I mean, it's what, a minifigure and a half. So I mean, it just has me curious when I see things like this, which seem so different in price to the leading brick company. I'm going to shorten up this video a lot. I can't make videos like this popular anymore on YouTube. It'll be dumped like a hot potato. What you'll see flashing by is the other toys that I was going to ramble on about. You can see what they are. You know that I got them at the right price because I went to the right shop. Maybe the biggest revelation in this video was seeing a Hot Wheels vehicle for $7.20. That was crazy, wasn't it? That's in Sydney, Australia. Welcome to Australia. What I do when I go to a retailer is I go and look at a very common and basic thing and see how much they're selling it for. That's a great litmus test to do. A Hot Wheels vehicle is a great thing to see. How much is a retailer selling this for? How are they going to treat their customers? Go and see the price of that before you really go and look at anything else. Now, my videos can't save the reject shop, but one thing I noticed from the many people who watch my videos, remembering most of them reside outside Australia, and the reject shop is an Australian retailer, is they said that's a very strange name for a retailer because people perceive the word reject as a negative word. And the name of the shop really derives from its root. Back in 1981, it was a store which started out down in Victoria that sold seconds, but it transformed into a store that sold things at the right price because there were things that were oversupplied on the market and there were things that were basically selling for too much in other stores. And another factor that may stop things from selling is when they're not that popular. Cough, cough, Chuggington. There was going to be a third part to these videos. You're lucky that the second one got made because I nearly canned all this. But all the toys that were shown in the reject shop videos ended up going to my local op shop who were celebrating 10 years of raising money for other people. So what they did in my suburb was they had a pop-up op shop. I hope that makes sense. The relationship between the local Lions op shop and me has been fantastic. It's been a great place for me to send toys that have only been looked at once because I look at toys on YouTube. And what they've done for me is collected me a massive amount of Thomas the Tank toys, which is totally astonishing. What I do with the toys that I look at on YouTube is, of course, I look at them, I pull the toy out of the box, I put it back in the box, I sign my channel name on the box, I send it down to my local charity shop, and what I've noticed happen with some of the good toys is they will sell it to someone within the suburb, and then that person will bring it back to the charity shop once they're done with it, so the charity shop will make money from one item multiple times. But it's only the really good toys that can pull that off. And I'll finish off this video with a bit of a story of the time before I knew my local Lions charity shop, and I had a whole bunch of new toys in box, and I contacted a number of organisations and no one was interested in taking on these new toys. In the end, all the organisations wanted was money. Money talks, but a toy in a box doesn't. And that shocked me in a way, but it also didn't shock me because even I know that to turn a toy back into money, it takes time. Let's say if you're going to sell it on eBay, it takes time to do the sale and stuff around with selling it on. And it was only by almost freak nature that I was speaking to a lady called Anne in the local charity shop, and I was telling her of my story of the trouble I had of moving toys on, and she said, hey, we'll take them in. And that was the beginning of what was a great relationship. And they had no trouble at all in turning the toys that I show on YouTube into money for their organisation. And that has been a bit of an eye-opener for me. So many people saw it as a problem, but my local Lions charity shop saw it as something that they could work with. And on that very positive note, it'd be a very good time to finish up this video.